All right, let's talk about a stock that practically lives on the edge of innovation and, let's be honest, pure volatility: Coinbase. Right now, it's at this fascinating, really critical pivot point. So, we're going to break down exactly what that means for its future and what signals you absolutely need to be watching. So, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is Coinbase on the verge of a breakdown, or is it just gathering up a ton of energy for its next massive move? The truth is, the signals are all mixed up, and frankly, that's what makes this whole thing so compelling to watch. Okay, so let's get right into it. The goal here is to cut through all the noise, all the chatter. We're going to look at the charts, we're going to look at the data, and we're going to find those key signals that could really decide where Coinbase is heading from here. To even begin to understand what's happening with the stock price, we first have to get a handle on the fundamental tug-of-war happening inside the company itself. This is really the heart of its big dilemma. You see, Coinbase is kind of like two different companies mashed into one. On one side, you've got its old school engine, those crypto trading fees. They're powerful for sure, but they are incredibly volatile, super unpredictable. They just ride the wild waves of the crypto market cycles. But on the other side, you can see the future they're trying to build: stable, more predictable money coming in from things like custody services and tokenization. And that right there, that's the core tension. Every single day, the stock's price is just a battleground reflecting this fight. It's really a bet on whether Coinbase can pull off this massive transition from being this cyclical, market-dependent company to becoming a much more stable, diversified financial tech powerhouse. That's the war being waged right now in the stock price. So let's play doctor for a minute. We're going to give the stock a full health check. By reading its vital signs, the key technical data, we can get a pretty good diagnosis of its current condition. Now, before we get into the numbers, a real quick primer. A moving average, it's just the average price of a stock over a certain number of days, like 50 or 200. It helps us see the real trend by kind of smoothing out all that crazy day-to-day price noise. Just think of it as the stock's underlying momentum. So here's the chart. The current price is sitting below its short-term 50-day and 100-day averages. Now, that's what traders call a bearish signal. It's just a fancy way of saying it's a sign of recent weakness. But, and this is the really crucial part, it's hovering right around its long-term 200-day average of about $282. That line is a huge psychological and technical level. And sitting right on it, well, that's the very definition of being at a crossroads. And the other vital signs, well, they're not looking so hot either. Momentum indicators, which basically just measure the stock's energy, are kind of pointing down. To put it simply, the stock is tired. It just doesn't seem to have that immediate power for a big, strong rebound, which suggests the risk, for now, is still to the downside. Okay, so with that diagnosis in our back pocket, we can get super specific. Let's pinpoint the exact price levels you need to have on your radar. These are the critical floors and ceilings that are going to tell us whether the bulls or the bears are winning this fight. The first, and honestly the most important number, is $282. That's that 200-day average we were just talking about. For the bulls to get back in control, the stock can't just touch this level, it needs to get above it and stay above it. Taking back that line would be a massive sign that the stock is getting healthy again. Now, if we're looking down, the first safety net is sitting right around 262. This is the immediate support level. If the price can hold strong here, it shows that buyers are stepping up to defend it. Think of it as the first line of defense against a much bigger drop. But if that 262 level breaks, all eyes are going to shift to 235. This, my friends, is the danger zone. A drop below this price would signal a major technical breakdown, and it could open the door to a much deeper, much more painful slide. This is the one level the bulls absolutely have to protect. Okay, so we've looked at the business, we've checked the vital signs. Now we can zoom out a bit and explore the three most likely scenarios, the possible futures, if you will, for where Coinbase could be headed next. First up, the bull case, a big crypto market comeback, plus real solid proof that their diversification plan is working, could send this stock flying. Then you've got the base case, which is more of a sideways grind. A lukewarm crypto market and slow progress kind of keep the stock stuck in a rut. And finally, the bear case. Some bad regulatory news, or if they just fail to execute, that could trigger that dangerous break below the support levels we just mapped out. So what on earth does all this mean for you? Let's tie it all together with the final takeaway, and we'll look at it from two totally different points of view: the short-term trader and the long-term investor. You've really got two completely different playbooks here. A trader, they're focused on the now.
They're watching that tight price band between roughly 262 and 276, just waiting to react to a breakout or a breakdown. The investor, on the other hand, is playing a whole different game. They're tuning out the daily noise and they are laser focused on one thing: growth in those stable, non-trading revenues. For them, a little short-term weakness might actually look like a long-term opportunity.
So really, when you boil it all down, it comes back to one word: execution. Can the company actually manage the wild swings of the crypto market while, at the same time, building a more stable, predictable business for the future? That is the ultimate test.
The charts are balanced on a knife's edge, and the company's whole story is at a massive turning point. It really, truly is at a crossroads. The signals we've talked about today will be the signposts telling us which path it's taking. The only question left is, which road will it travel next?